Alright, so what is a disk and washer? You guys already learned this. Just a very simple review, a quick skim reviews. Okay, quick skim reviews. Yeah. Alright, At first, do you know how to find the area between the curve?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
How do I find area between the curve? Do you guys know that? Yeah. So let's just say if I have two functions, and let's just say if I have this is 2, this is 5. The thing is, you have to find the intersection first. Find intersection, let's just say intersection here. Let's just say if I want to find the area, this is the f of x, and this is g of x. So basically, it's going to be integration between 2 to 5 of f of x minus g of x dx, which is top minus bottom, right? But sometimes you have to find intersection. How do you find intersection between it's at 2 is equal to 2 and 5? How do I know that's equal to 2 and 5? What do you supposed to do? Set them equal to each other, solve for it, right? So sometimes you have to find intersection. So f of x equal to g of x. That's to look for intersections. I'm already not going to teach you how to do things. I'm just going to give you a small breakdown. Is usually you set equation, the top and bottom, and you set them equal to each other. You set them equal to each other, you'll find out where they intersect. That's going to be the area between the curve. What if you have two intersections? So here's the question, I'll give it to you. Can you find the area between the curve between y equal to x to the cube and y equal to x? So this is already harder one already. So we're going to start with the first one. It's already harder one.
1, -1, 0. Yeah. 1, -1. Well, no. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Let's see you do both.
Area between the curves. Y'all weak. Y'all weak.
If negative 1 is a negative, and then the positive 1 is positive, and then the extra through it, and you have like negative and you have positive. It's the same shape, but one is negative and one is positive. Yeah. So you put them together. It's like when you're drawing over here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought we were finding like the intersection. Oh well. Yeah. Well, see, we're solving. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? They cancel out. It's just negative 1. But yeah, that really makes sense.
The answer is not 0. The area cannot be 0, you dumb dumb. Wait, I just live streamed it.
Oh, true. You're right. You're so right.
What is the area?
The area is
The area is 1/2. I don't know if it's right. She does say it's right, it must be right because she scored a perfect score on her essay AP exam.
You don't exactly know what the question is when I just get two equations and said find something. So,
All right. Shh. First of all, learning how to graph. And you know there's not such a thing as net zero areas if you have a graph between the curve. So y equal to x is gonna look like this. Okay. And we're gonna say this is a 1. This is a -1. Sorry, -1. 1 and -1. But x cube graph is gonna look like this. Oops. That was total. So there was 2 areas here. There was a purple area here and there was a green area here. So there was 2 areas. Now if you want to do it properly, you know, this one we're gonna call the blue one is, I'm gonna call the red one is a blue one is f of x. And this is the g of x. Samuel, Josh. So what you can do is, you know what the intersection is. X cubed equal to x cubed minus x equal to 0, x times x squared minus 1 equal to 0, x times x minus 1 times x plus 1 equal to 0, x equal to 0, x equal to 1, x equal to -1. Now, if you know how to draw a perfect graph, you would find out there's a 3 intersection at 1, 0, and -1. But if you want a correct setup, it's going to be between 1 and 0, right? The top function is going to be x minus the bottom function x cubed. Plus, integration from -1 to 0, x cubed minus x. And don't forget about dx. And if you do the calculation, or if you want to be smart and shifty, it's going to be x minus x cubed dx, because you know that 2 area is going to be the same. You can double it. You can double it for the first one, but this only work if they have complete symmetry. It doesn't work if it's not complete symmetry. Are we okay? Finding area between the curve. This is one of the harder questions. It's between the curve. You guys gotta figure out, how do you find the intersection? Set equation equal to each other, solve for it. You guys have to figure out how to find the top minus bottom. Now, this case is the only case that I give you is the symmetry. Majority 90% is no symmetry in there. There's no symmetry, guess what? You just have to brute force it. Are we okay? Okay, this is the area between the curve. We're gonna go to disk and washer. Disk. Either you hate it, you love it.
What you love?
Unless you want to teach, can you guys shut up and let me teach, please? Thank you. A disk is rotating like things. I don't know. Gauge workout accordion like this. If you have, thanks to Gauge, because he said we're gonna use what he used. So that's if I have this graph, And if I want to rotate to x-axis, then just expand them, and then at least form like this. So it's gonna form a shape that looks like this, but it's gonna have different height throughout the whole time. So if you were to use this method, you have to choose this method here, because it's gonna break up here, like this part, and then here, because one is a function, one is a horizontal line. But there's two this method here. And there is a way to avoid it, is that using shell method. So we are also gonna introduce you shell method. Shell method is actually very intuitive. I see Katie already gave me that disappointed look of learning new things. She's like, ah. And so there is a shell method, then you can do it in terms of one integral, which is super, super interesting. And thanks, this is a perfect shape that built by Gage.
Flip it the other way to make it a wash it too.
Whoa.
I don't know what you meant.
Flip it the other way, yeah.
No,
the other way.
No, not like no. No.
Yes.
Come on now. No, this is it. Flip it the other way. Like this. Like around like that, right? That, am I thinking right? Yeah. I'm just taking.
Wash it. Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry, I'm not so smart. I'm slow. You making fun of people who have Alzheimer's? Wait until you get canceled on Twitter. Yeah. All right, so disk. The idea of disk is a simple one. Let's just say if I want to find the area of cylinder of this, no, cone, sorry. It's just a simple line like this, y equal to x, right? And you can rotate around x-axis, form between here, it's rotating around x-axis. It's gonna form a shapes like this. And that's gonna give you a cone. Okay, that's a way to finding a cone. That's where the cone formula coming from. That's why it's 1/3. Actually, you can actually prove it too. But things like this, you have to understand, is simple geometry maybe coming from something like calculus. Okay, even 4/3 pi r cubed. How do you know that's a pi r cubed? Okay, so here's the thing. Shida, Zach, all the events you think, I'm gonna say, if you think you're an advanced math student, I want you to prove to me why area of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Volume of sphere. To prove to me why volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. No. It's actually something you guys doable. It's very doable for a lot of you guys. So this will be an extension of a question. So if you are super advanced and you want to challenge yourself, hey, why is the area 4/3 pi r cubed? Is that from disk or washer method? And if it is, how does that form? Okay, so, but for basic disk method, if you rotation, this slice right here, what shape is that? That's a circle. Good job. And this is the radius, right? And then what happened if it's any type of things that is there is no hollow in the middle, it's gonna be a disk. So the way to think about the equation, I can use either Rx or R of y. What does that mean? If R of x is the function in terms of x and there's a function in terms of y. So you can do it the other way as well. So you can make sure that there is two type of style that you can do. You can say, for example, that question that Sheila having problem, that third grade helping her, that equation she says, you know, I want to x equal to instead of y equal to. So if x equal to, it would be r of y. Basically, the equation for this is pi r squared. Why? Pi integration of r of x dx squared between a to b. Yeah. You're faster than Sheila. Sheila's too slow.
He knows that better stuff better than me. Conceptually, like.
Wow, did you? She just.
No, yeah, he's better conceptually.
The girl's got a perfect score.
Wait, I actually have a question. So, like with proof, what's the end result like supposed to? Is the end result supposed to show like?
Border hierarchy.
I think you just have to use one method. Just use any method.
So what are you supposed to like use one of the like the disc or the washer things and then show like
You
how
figure
use
out,
the disc
okay?
and
I'm
the
not gonna
washer?
teach you. So it's gonna be pi between b and a. R of x is the radius, right? The radius from axis rotation. Remember last year we talked about a lot about axis rotation. You're gonna draw a line from there and draw the line to the axis rotation. Sometimes you might have off-axis rotation, so sometimes you have to worry about that. So also they can be rotated in terms of in a y perspective, so they're gonna use the function in terms of y, and that's gonna be a and b. That's the disk method. Are we okay here? What is a washer?
The two. I put my clothes.
That's the what?
The two. You need
Like
like
another
one
follow.
Yeah, washer method.
I'm so good.
I don't know, when Basil told me he likes math, I don't know if that's a sarcastic comment or he really likes math.
Be both.
It's kind of both.
The little
me, it's both.
Yeah, it's a little. Okay.
Damn.
The real man.
That's some shade right there.
I know, right?
On the real man.
Okay, so washer method. So there was a bigger radius and there was an inner radius, if you guys remember. So it's still, if you look at washers more like this, how do you find the area between this? Oops, sorry.
Big R minus small.
Yep.
So that's if I have an area like this,
Big R minus small.
so how do I find this shaded area? If you have,
Yeah, this is sweet.
what do you mean weak?
This is how we say louder.
Basil.
Speak your mind.
Okay, so this is a bigger R, and this small r, but you're using this two-dimensionally, and you're gonna use it apply to three-dimensional. So if you apply to three-dimensional, the area is equal to pi r squared minus pi r squared. Because it's gonna be bigger square minus, but it's not, make sure it's not, it's not which way? Oh, it's not pi r minus r squared. It's not like that. That's completely wrong. So make sure that a lot of misunderstanding is the big R minus small r square times pi. But it's actually the bigger circle minus the small circle. So do not get confused. This is not right. So cross this out. So for us, a washer is going to be what? It's still pi outside. And still a and b inside. So it'll be r squared of x minus r squared of x dx. Yes, it was square, dum dum. Or it can be ry dy. So it could be both. So that's pretty much the relationships here. Am I going too fast? This is just a review, right? Oh,
No, don't say that.
all right, cross section. What else? The cross section is what?
That's where you cut it.
Thanks, Bronson.
I feel like Google. Google is access. No.
Okay, do you guys remember this? So this is a cross section. This is not rotation. Make sure that that's not rotations, right? So it can usually give you a square, equilateral, triangle. They can give you a semicircle, but this is a cut it to infinite amount of pieces. And this is, it looked like a slug, yes. It looked like a slug. But you can also do a triangle. Now it doesn't look like slug anymore. You can have a square. So cross section. Does a cross section has a pi in the front? That was a tricky question. Does a cross section has a pi in the front? Depends on what shape, right? Okay, square. Square. I'm gonna say the square is easy one. I'm gonna say D stands for the difference. Difference between two graphs. So it'll be d of x squared dx. I think that's the best way to calculate. So d of x is the difference between the top graph, the top and minus bottom, right? I like the difference between top and minus bottom. Okay, so that's a D. Now that's a square. Now there's also equilateral triangle. Do you remember the coefficient for equilateral? Square root 3 over 4. Good. That's d squared of x dx. And you guys should know the area of an equilateral triangle is square root 3 over 4s squared. That's an equilateral triangle. How about semicircle? It's equal to pi over 8 the d squared of x dx. There's an isosceles right triangle. But the isosceles right triangle, there are two. If the hypotenuse is the base, and the hypotenuse, if the base is the thing. So if you want to do isosceles, I don't know how to spell isosceles. If a base is equal to D, well, base is equal to D, isosceles right, sorry, isosceles right triangle. It's gonna be 1/2 of D squared of X dx. So that's a fairly easy one. But if a base is hypotenuse, it's kind of hard. So it can give you isosceles right triangle. Now I usually test this 3. I don't really test isosceles triangle, but AP exam does test rectangle. They will say base is 3 times the height, or height is 3 times the base, something like that. They will give you something like that. So that is take account into all kind of possibility. Isosceles right triangle is if a base equal to height, hypotenuse. How do you get that? Because the difference is no longer a the base of the triangle. It's the hypotenuse. So let's think about this. This is the difference. This is the d of x, right?
Would you split it into 2 triangles?
No. No, not 1/2. 1/2 is the base is d. Now what happened is the so you want to figure out this side. What's the relationship? If that's a d, what's the other side?
Over square root of
Yes.
Square root 2 over 2. Square root 2 over 2.
D is equal to square root 2 times the base, right? So the x, right? So x is equal to what? D over square root 2. So this part is going to be D over square root 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then you're going to have D of x over square root 2 and square times 1/2 dx. So it's equal to 1/4 of d of x dx. Why is 1/4? Because yeah, so that's gonna be the little bit harder one. So, but usually they don't test like this, but the harder tier, like higher tier of competition or the higher tier of questions, a teacher like to trick you, then it's gonna be 1/4 in the front. Yes, Katie. Yeah.
The dx is first well or no?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Very good point. So that is gonna offer you the half and then also 1/2 based on height. So it's offer another half, so it's 1/4 is a base that way. Now also there's a rectangle, so how do they word it by rectangle? Rectangle, they will say it's base. You gotta be careful with this kind of wording. It's a base equal to 2 times the height. Base equal to 2 times the height. So usually if a base is 2 times height, then what is, remember the base is 2 times the height, it's gonna be the base, right? That's what you d to the x, right? Times half. So people think about is 2 times the height. It must be times 2. But base is double of the height. So the wording can be worded that way. So then there will be, this one is going to be d of x divided by 2 of dx. If the base equal to 2 times height. Does that make sense? Half is half, right? So that is the things that you want to make sure that's going to be 1/2 of d to the x squared dx. So that will be this case. So cross section can be a lot of variety. It really depends on what situation you're meeting. Lastly, you haven't learned this yet.
Wait, what?
Shaw method.
It's the same thing as what do you like? I'm not gonna confirm, right?
No, that's if it says like the base is 2 times.
Okay, Shaw method is a little bit tricky. That just says y equal to x squared plus 1. Y equal to x squared plus 1. And the boundary is between 0 to 1. And rotate around y-axis. So let's graph them. So x squared here. And it's rotating around y-axis. So it's gonna go like this. The problem with this, if you were to do a disk and washer, you had to do both. You had to do disk and washer, and you had to add 2 integral at the same time. Do you guys remember how to do that? That's actually pretty hard. This can practice both disk and washer at the same time. You want to try for disk and washer first?
Let's just learn the shell method. I heard make everything easy. Why don't we just learn the shell method? Then we don't have to use it.
No, you have to learn. Your test is gonna be based on disk and washer. AP exam is gonna be based on disk and washer. It doesn't have a shell. I teach you a shell because some of you guys are going to go to MIT. Or Caltech. Or apply? I don't know. Will's gonna apply. Are you gonna apply for MIT? Yeah. Even get a rejection letter for them is a good, like a good art piece for your for your door. I get rejected at MIT. Hey, at least I get rejected at MIT. You do.
If you're still able to see, okay.
Let's try to do disk and washer here. Now the problem is you rotate in this direction. So it's not a X direction. So disk and washer is quite hard. So just be careful. This will be a good practice if you understand how to disk and how to do washer. First of all, let's see if you guys know how to cut. If I said you have to use disk and washer, let's see how you do it. What? No, 0 to 1 is a boundary to the graph. So, oh, there's a 0 to 1 and x-axis, and y-axis. That's a boundary. Okay, so Will point out something, says I'm missing something about this. It's 0 to 1 is right here, but there is a x-axis here. So it should including the x-axis is also the boundary. It's rotating across that. So you're gonna form this shape right here.
So we're rotating around the y-axis and the boundaries on the x-axis.
We're rotating around the y-axis, but there's x-axis, graph, y-axis at 0 and 1. So it's gonna rotate like this, become this shape right here.
Yeah.
Extra credit for Gage. I still didn't get that email. The one that you didn't send it.
No, I did it. Okay, I sent it like 3 years ago, but I found out I didn't get it. So it should be on like that.
I didn't get it.
You're lying.
Just airdrop to me. I'm gonna be like, congratulations, Joshua. Well, it's not for her, it's for Joshua. We should do it on April Fools. Huh? Rotating around y-axis. Just this graph. Accept. Where? All right, so give you some guidance. You should have a red region that is gonna be a disk. You should have a green region that should be a washer. And since rotating around y-axis, sorry. Huh? We still can put it into use. Wait, did I receive it? No. You didn't send it. What? No, it's okay.
You looked at it too.
Oh no. Okay, so you don't want me to like have.
No,
Okay. It's just a class and you said yes.
no, I was kind of confused,
Oh, okay.
but that's okay.
No, because I already texted them saying that.
Yeah, just say don't worry about it. I already, yeah, just say the money's already been paid. Just say money is already been paid.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I already paid you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my mom didn't tell me, and so because it's
Oh.
to her account.
Yeah, no, I already paid you. I already
Okay,
paid you.
thank you.
Miss Num, you gotta call her Miss Num now. Darby, Miss Num. Miss Num, can you teach Euler's method?
Would you be hurt if I said she was
No, I'm proud. I'm proud. She's my student, so that makes like transitive property. So that means I'm like Even better. For what thing?
The answer to your question, yeah. Square plus one, 0, 1.
So I hear it's gonna be integration of y 0 to 1 dy plus integration from 1 to 2. The top part of the graph is 1 square minus y minus 1 square root. So it's gonna be square root y minus 1 square dy. This is the top, this is the bottom.
Oh, no, yeah.
Huh?
Is the answer 3 pi over 2?
I don't know. I did. It's in the textbook. Do you see it? Do you see I have textbook here? No, different one. It's a black one. Somewhere, but it's probably right. If you did the calculation right. But you can do it in wash shell. It's only take 1 step. Because shell basically takes a difference line and rotate. Okay, previous one is your root recommendation. That's it.
I got y minus y squared over 2 plus y. You plug in 1 and 2. So
Students,
2 plus
1 minute remaining until class.
The problem's gonna get mad. The problem?
I'll make it.
Go away. Go pick up. Where are we going again?
What time is it?
It's UF?
You sign.
I like snowboard. I'll probably go to English Commission and see what. I haven't done my 4 yet.
This is my extension.
We're not.
Mr. Pickett's not here.
Are we playoff football?
It depends. So right now we're 2-1 in the district. We play West Orange, who should be better than us, but we beat DP 11-0, and then West Orange beat DP 19-18. So they barely beat DP, and we beat DP. Maybe there's a chance just off that game. But then after we beat them, we'll be 2-2 in the district.
But they also play them at home.
Yeah, they have home. But I mean, it's whatever. But I think if we're 2-2 in the district, it's locked into the playoffs.
So that means you guys have to, yeah.
Maybe. Because Akoi is 3-1 in the district. DP is not winning the competition in Oh no, thank you. I'm good.
Can grab the water, it's okay.
Really appreciate that.
It's cold. No, that's not cold. You have it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass out.
You have a pit period, right?
Yeah. I'm out of breath.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying. I hope you don't pass out during fifth period. All right, Mr. Green. You have a good day.
You too.
Good day. Yeah.
Yeah, you beat me. Whatever. Good job, though.
Yeah. Thank you. You too.
Our records indicate that you were contacted by one of our representatives regarding receiving your outstanding business employee retention credits under the CARES Act. To be transferred to a live agent to claim your retention credits, press 1 or
What's up?
Are we gonna go with a review today?
Yeah, some question.
Hello.
Yeah,
哎，你好，
你好，
哎，听得见吗？
我听得见，你说。喂，
信号好像不是很好，听不太清楚您说话。
你说吗？你说，你听到了吗？
现在可以，现在可以。那个你好，那个我是韩磊的朋友，然后就是他那个谁 Kevin 说正在跟您学那个数学，我就想问一下，我儿子跟 Kevin 是一个年级的，然后呢年龄一样大，我在想您那还有没有那个空余的那个就是位置，然后我想让他也试一下跟您学一下。
他是几年级
6年级 Sixth grade。
？6年级。OK， 他比 Kevin 大，对不对？
没有，他俩同岁，一个年级。
他在哪个学校
也是那种 private school。
？OK， 他在学校成绩好不好？
他的数学成绩基本上都在80到100之间吧。
OK，加减乘除都会，对不对？
对，这些都会。
OK， 然后因为那个班他可以试一下星期三。
星期三是几点呢？
是7点到9点。
7点到9点。 我可能得要下个月才能有星期三的下午时间，因为他这个月，星期三每个星期三下午有篮球训练，然后一直训练到7点半才回家。
OK，
然后在下个月的星期三就没有了，就取消了。
OK，现在就是他们现在这班就是大部分小孩就是6年级，还有7年级小孩子。
OK。
然后最小的就是 Kevin 跟我们家儿子 Devin，还有一个 Rowan， 他们是5年级，其他的都是6年级，还有8年级，一个小孩子8年级。那基本上我是教同样类似的知识，就是说他们的知识点会在，因为8年级的小孩子在6年级的知识并不太稳定，因为是经过疫情，疫情他们的知识点都不是很稳定，所以说通常我最大的是8年级在里面，然后还有一个actually 还有一个是10年级。因为10年级他也是缺乏基础，所以说他们都在一个班。那他们都在学同样的东西，我教的东西就是我规定的东西。那我规定的东西基本上对他们以后就说能长到代数到代数1到代数前微积分、微积分的课都有关联的东西。因为我自己在高中是 Olympia High School，就在 Windermere 旁边，不是 Windermere High School， 在 Olympia High School， 在 Conroy 跟那 Abaka 班的那间高中。我是教微积分的，我教微积分1跟微积分2。那所以我教的基础就是把他们好的习惯建立起来，然后还要知道说怎么样去解决不会的问题。因为会的问题会解决，刚刚就老师教过，但是要怎么样解决不会的问题要怎么样去思考，去动头脑，那这个班里面都会教。现在只有一个时间的班级，我有一个是4年级的班级，但是对他来讲太小。现在目前没有，现在就是打算这个班，那这个班我会一直教下去，他们就会一直学。他们有时候大致上到高中的时候，就是我现在第一次学的这个层次的小孩，2年前学的，现在高1都拿微积分。为什么通常都是等到高3才拿微积分，但他们高1就可以拿，因为他们高1就够的程度去拿微积分。我现在有2个小孩子在9年级拿微积分，通常微积分都要等到11年级。所以说就是我会提早给他们训练，就说解题知识，但是我也不做数学竞赛的问题，因为数学竞赛只是把头脑定型在一个模式里面，所以说我不喜欢做刷题的东西，但是我喜欢就是教他们概念、理念，这个数学对数学怎么样产生兴趣，就是说叫他们做100个题目，我会教小孩子这样做，所以说他们就是要怎么样去思考，所以每个小孩子都对我的课很有兴趣。那你可以下个月开始，那倒无所谓，下个月是11月。那你可以下个月再你可以免费试课1次，对，然后他可以，然后就是让小孩子自己做决定，要不要继续留下来。通常小孩子都蛮喜欢我的课，通常每一次小孩子就是学过1堂课，他们都会留下来。但是如果说他们说不想要留下来的话，那你要就是做家长要尊重小孩子的意见，因为我不想要小孩子被逼在那边。被逼在那边，我不想要小孩子在那边受苦，因为我想要小孩子产生兴趣，而不是说去消灭他的兴趣你只要逼他在数学课里面他不喜欢的话，那我不会逼小孩子。好，那你就下个礼拜。可以，那就差1-2个礼拜。是Zoom，全部的小孩都在Zoom。OK， 那你可以
我说你们那个平常跟那个学生的家长是微信
短信手机连微信也可以。你现在你可以发给我个微信，你可以发给我电话，那我知道怎么打电话。
I'm having no problem. Okay.
反正我手机已经给你了，那你等一下 text 给我你的手机还有 email， 好不好 ？OK， 好，谢谢。OK， 好，拜拜。OK， 好，拜拜。Michael Remington。Who are you? Huh?
I'm Andrew.
Anderson. What math are you taking? You don't like math?
No,
Why not?
it's mean, but he's good.
It's mean to you?
Very mean.
Oh, you should try my class. I'm meaner.
I mean, if the math.
But you're like me. You might not like the math, but you're like me. So I asked Michael.
And then it's called rotation.
All right, so shh. Robert, what are you doing?
Oh, thumbs up.
Bigger than yours.
What?
It's bigger than yours.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Nice tan line though.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
So yesterday I did forgot to post on Canvas, but this is your review sheet on the test. So you guys are more welcome to take a picture. There's 2 pictures you can take. But
Wait, hold on.
We have to have a little picture.
I'll airdrop it to everybody. Wait, I missed it. Alright, yeah.
Hey, why don't you guys
picture
Why don't you take 2 big photos?
Trevor, okay, yeah. Trevor got me a test correction. I don't know what happened to the rest of you guys.
Oh, yeah, I have mine.
And I'm still waiting for Derek. Derek's trying to ignore me right now. You know, don't email me like the day before progress report before says Mr. Ye, please. Derek, you want me to post your email on a room?
Okay, but that wasn't my fault. That was your fault.
Okay, now it's your fault now. Now it's your fault because you didn't turn it in.
I'm trying to figure out this spoilers. Yo, watch your potty mouth, young man. There's no way. There is a way. I am. No, you're not. Want me to do it? No.
Airdrop it.
I did.
Airdrop it again. What do you mean? It's like RCM.
We're over the conservatory. No. I couldn't even roll with the
Okay, so if you still have any homework question, now is the time to ask. If you didn't do your homework, you probably should start doing it. That's pretty much everything on Thursday's test. And I just realized Thursday is a shorter day, but you do have to finish it because this just integrals. It's not that deep.
Yes, why is it shorter?
I think it's mental health. It's a good day to give a mental
We
health
already did that.
test day, right?
We already
A
did
mental health test.
Oh wait, mental health is on. Mental health is on the 5th period. So now we will have less time to do it. Less time.
Jonathan, you lost some weight. Huh?
I've gained this since last week.
Really?
Muscle.
No, last year you were chubby. No
Oh,
offense.
that's nice, Mystery A.
I was at 235 last year, but 250 right now.
Really? Now it's just muscles?
Yes.
Is he look thinner than last year? Or just me?
Maybe it's just
I don't know.
It's hard to tell when you like eating like you have class every day together, so he's eating every day, so it's kind of hard to tell like that.
I feel like you're thinner.
Here, what do I do?
Maybe.
But regardless, looks good.
See how this one
Looks fit.
That too, so you can do that. And that means that one has to be this one has
Oh, I hated you. I hated it.
eating it.
I feel bad.
Yeah, we know what I'm talking about.
Anthony is the only student that do 1 year BC block. BC, 1 year, 1 period BC got a 3. Oh no, Marco did too. Oh, you, Marco, and Nisha. All you guys are passed. All you guys passed BC in 1 year, which is pretty impressive. Huh? Yeah, I didn't go through AB. But I don't know how you passed.
Oh, damn.
I don't know how you passed, honestly.
I really don't know how I passed either.
You came into exponent rule at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Remember Chaparro walk in, you're like, what the hell is this kid?
I understood the calculus part. I just couldn't count it.
I mean, oh, that's like that's a good thing. He's the same way. Yeah.
Andrew's the same way, yeah.
We're not. We're never taking AB. That's really good. So
I could just
very
guess.
proud of
No.
yourself.
Oh. So there was a 1 here, so that meant was that was. I don't have to. Trevor. Too smart for it.
You're my QB, my starting QB, Trevor.
This is the name of this unit called rotation?
Area and volumes.
It's called what?
Area and volumes.
Area and volume.
Okay, so shh. Guys, Jonathan, go away, bye.
Alright, bye, Mr. A. Rip it, photo.
The Jonathan, I don't miss you, Bobby, and Connor.
What?
You almost forgot who Bobby was yesterday. I like being around.
You know, every last year, like you three, just give me aneurysm.
But it was fun.
It's fun for you.
Wait, you don't miss Connor either, really?
No, Connor, combination with Connor and Bobby and Jonathan, that's not pretty sight. It's like a Derek, Robert, and Will, but times 2.
Yeah, that was bad.
Whoa, that's like 6 people.
Well, so then we're pretty good.
Yeah, you guys are pretty good. You guys, you guys not bad.
Be more grateful.
You guys are pretty good, to be honest.
A little risky here.
That's your homework. Today you have no homework, so make sure you understand everything here. And tomorrow we can go over a question, but today we could talk about area and washers.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
There's no need.
I remember this test because I got a 40 on it. And then you were like, well, you need to cut the slacking off. And
Oh yeah, I got mad at you last
you
year.
did really mad.
I'm like, what the hell?
That's not up to Will's performance, you know what I mean? I have higher expectations.
Will's 85 above. And all of a sudden he got a 40.
I remember my mom in shower and she got really mad at me.
What did you say? You say it's not your fault?
I just said, oh, the whole class is bad. She's like, it's not an excuse.
Mr. Yang, on the top right, it says f of x equals g of x, and it says look for, and then I can't see what the word says. Look for Yamal.
No, like, I have like a fake
Yamal.
right
Oh.
All right. Derek, pay attention. We're gonna cover notes.
That's correct.
You should have done it at home. Well,
Wait, you always say not to do test corrections.
you can stay afterward to do class correction. Well, that's your fault. You
You
should have
later
done it at
on
home.
School first period. You're
Yeah.
making excuses.
Damn.
You don't want that.
No.
You don't want it bad enough. There we go.
School early sometimes. Stop by second period.
That's true. That's true.
It's very quiet.
Okay, Andrew Green,
Yes.
the computer way.
No more mind sweeper.
Minesweeper.
Only mind thinker.
Minesweeper
Yeah.
with the calculus. All right. So last year we talked about area and volume. So we're gonna talk instead of spend a week and a half, 10 days to talk about area and volume. We're gonna do it in 1 day. So
Okay.
I would like at least 2 days.
We got
it's probably 2 days.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be on the test tomorrow or Thursday?
No.
Well, not. Good. I asked him yesterday.
So let's talk about area. How do I find the area of this?
Take the integral.
y equal to square root x minus 2 and y equal to 0 and x equal to 6. Yeah, x equal to 6. How do I find the area of this? Bounded by those three things.
Graph it.
Okay, graph it. How do I graph square root x minus 2?
You plug it in x.
Yeah,
You can plug in x, which is the first value you can plug in is 2. And it's basically a square root graph.
And you just go like this.
That's what I
And
said.
x equal to 4, x equal to 6 is right here. So it's right here. And so there are three things that is bounded by those three things. So how do I find the area of this?
Oh wait.
Pretty well.
Yes.
So you take an integral, right? And the boundary should be 6 and 2.
2 to 6, okay.
Yeah. And then it's root x minus 2. And then I think that's just, and then dx, I think it's just, yeah.
And then you just do u substitution.
Yeah.
You have to do u substitution because u equal to x minus 2, du equal to dx. And that's going to be square root of u to the 1/2 du. And that's going to be 0 to 4. So that's u to the 3/2, 2/3. And between 4 to 0. So it'll be equal to 2/3 times 4 to the 3/2 minus 0. So that's equal to 16.
0 to 4.
I need to calculate.
Whatever you say, yeah.
Whatever I say, yes.
that'd be 16 over 3, which is 2.
What?
What's my brain like?
That's not divisible. right?
And you're going to just kill my brain.
16 isn't divisible by.
Correct.
It feels like it's almost divisible by 3. If you get rid of one of the numbers in 16, it would be 5.
That'd be more.
If you get one of the, if you get rid of one of the numbers in 3, or after one of the numbers in 3.
So this is how to find the area that's bounded, right? Now, how do you find the area between the curve? Let's say if you have area between the curve.
Can you please tell us which area? Wait a second.
Robert, what's your question?
You have to write your own formula for it. Remember? So you're going to be 6 minus, wouldn't it be 6 minus the x minus 2?
Wait, are we doing it from like? Is it
You know what I'm
still
saying?
using or something?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm literally.
Are we doing it from
my
wire?
worst unit, but
You know what I'm saying? Like
You can do it in
but
terms of
then
y.
you got this
Okay,
area,
so
but then you get rid of this area.
area between the curve usually is top minus bottom or right minus left.
That's what I said.
So
Wait, right.
I'm going to say integration that if I have something like this, and if I have like this between A and B, and the top part is f of x, and the bottom part is g of x, so it's going to be top minus the bottom dx, and in between A and B. So the way to think about it is always top minus bottom. And hopefully you guys remember this. You guys remember this?
I definitely remember that graph.
You remember that graph?
Yeah.
I do.
The second situation that you're going to have is sometimes you're going to have you're going to have maybe like a f of y and g of y. So what does that mean? Sometimes you might have something like this. And that's between A and B. And this is going to be f of y. And this is going to be g of y. And then it's going to be integration of f of y minus g of y dy between A and B.
That's what that's on the graph you drew. It should say. Yeah, that's good.
So it could be right minus left. So And what does that mean?
You take the constant value that's actually a function. You just do like f of y, which is the most to the right, and then subtract g of y, which is the most to the left.
Yeah, but what's f of y mean? Let's just say, how do I find the f of y if f of x is equal to x squared minus 5? What is f of y?
You solve for x.
And just type it in.
So it'll be x squared minus 5 equal to y, and then y plus 5 equal to x squared, and then f of y is equal to square root of y plus 5.
Plus or minus.
Plus minus, good. So yeah, it's plus minus.
So you have to solve that one.
And to be honest, last time, remember that little kid Xavier?
Yes.
So they were in the best kids, supposedly best kids in Olympia High School. Four best kids: Luke Davis, Will Purser, Sheila, and Xavier, all in one room trying to solve this problem. And this little kid, so Sheila says we have to solve for y. We had to get x by itself, and it was like this, and they couldn't get x by itself. And this boy named Liang Liang, I don't know, you guys remember Liang Liang, right? Robert probably remember Liang Liang. This little Asian kid that's in my room last year.
You really young.
Okay, so this little kid was visiting my class, and I invited him to math competition because I know he's like a prodigy. And so Sheila says we need to solve for x by itself, and Sheila, Luke Davis, Xavier, and Will all cannot do it. And I say Liang Liang showed them how to done, and a little fourth grader kid went up to the board and just 2 minutes later get x by itself. Very good,
Yeah.
very good. That's what he did. He completed square.
How did you not do that? I wasn't.
I have a question.
I wasn't
So-
trying to solve this.
Yeah, I have a question.
There was another part of the question I was trying to solve, and she the one didn't tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
plus or minus.
I already knew
So
that.
we're taking an integral.
We had just done it. You know.
No, it depends on which aspect you're gonna do it. So it really depends. So
But in this one we do positive or in this?
not well, it depends on the situation. We'll talk about that later.
This is +4, right? And then -4.
Yeah. So what happened is, you're supposed to is a +4 and -4 here. And just like one of the questions on your homework that you had to complete a square, and it was y equal to x minus 2 squared plus 1. And this is the type of question will be on SAT is how do you convert standard form to a vertex form. And then, so you had to do that on inverse 10 anyway. So I was surprised Will didn't know how to do it, you didn't know how to do it, Sheila didn't know how to do it,
I wasn't doing that.
Luke Davis didn't know how to do it. Yeah. But regardless, the kid is really smart.
But the only reason I knew
And
it was
y minus 1 equal to x minus 2. Shh. And then you can square root this. It'll be x minus 2 equal to square root of y minus 1 plus minus plus 2. Well, this one's x equal to plus minus square root y minus 1 plus 2. So that's how you solve for x. Okay, in terms of y.
What did you scribble out on the left?
It's just x. It was a y minus 1.
Luke Davis is this freshman in top 3 right now.
What?
Is he going to like dual enrollment?
Honestly, he probably gets more than you.
Gets more what?
Huh?
Oh.
I can see Luke Davis get more points in high school, in college than Will Robinson. I can really see that though.
That's humbling.
That's what you didn't make it. Can you get no? I never heard. Yeah.
So we just solved it for f of y, right? On the left.
Yeah. So this is gonna be f of y. So this is gonna be f of y. A lot of you guys don't know how to solve for that, but this is f of y. So those are things that you guys gotta be able to convert from one equation to the other equation. Okay.
Okay, so we just switched that. No.
Okay. So top minus bottom. So the first one I'm gonna give you kind of tricky one. What happened is I'm gonna go integration. No, I don't want to do integration. One more thing I wanted to do is area between the curve. So area between the curve is between two functions, right? It's always good to find intersection because the intersection tells you where the boundary is. Okay?
Yeah.
So usually area between the curve, you want to set f of x equal to g of x to look for intersections. Okay, and then sometimes you might have more than one intersection. That means you got more than area between the curve. So let's just do one first. Y equal to x squared and y equal to x. I want to find the area between the curve. Can you do it?
You can do it.
You see, old me at the beginning of Calc AB would have canceled out 1x and then like divided by x to both sides.
I can't wait to teach next year. I see the next year is going to be really bad.
So
Yeah.
I'm always there looking at cute today.
I'm going to have to teach Will's sister.
She's probably smart.
That's a probably.
I talked to her last week after how I went to school.
Last week?
Like, good.
How often do you talk to her? Your sister.
Maria, you ever talk to your brother?
Yeah, I talk to him like every day.
Yeah.
You know, when I get home, I'm like,
If you live in the same house as someone, you talk to them.
Yeah.
No, when I was at same school with my sister, I never talked to her
I mean, like, I don't talk to him
because she's more popular than I am. I didn't want to ruin her image.
Oh, that's thoughtful though.
Yeah, so she will sit in front of me, and I won't even talk to her.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right.
Huh?
Right.
Wednesday?
you're like-
I don't know. Okay, so how do I find the area between the curve? So what you're gonna do is set equation equal to each other, and you find the intersections, and x equal to 0, x equal to 1. So that way you know it's bounded between 1 to 0. Now, how do you know which graph is on the top?
Plug in a number.
Like what? Which number?
The number between the intersections.
Anywhere in the
You
range.
know that x is over x squared.
Okay, so just in case that you did it the other way around, you will get negative number. So you have x squared over 2 minus x cubed over 3 between 1 to 0.
My bad.
Hey, you got this.
And because 1/2 minus 1/3 is equal to 1/6. Yes, this is great. Now I'm gonna give you some easy one. Be careful on this one. Be careful on this one. I would say be careful on this one.
Be careful, it's too easy, guys. Divide by x to the.
What range are we looking at? Just like all the.
Hey, Rob, how's your sister?
We're looking. Oh.
Are we trying to get the area?
Robert has sister?
X cubed is over x.
Older or younger?
Very nice.
Wait, does anybody have the younger sibling here?
Sibling.
I have a younger sibling.
Oh really?
Yeah. He's gonna be in. He's gonna be in.
So
the school
Emily,
next
you have
year.
younger sibling?
No.
She is the young one.
Oh.
Hi.
You have what? You have little brother?
And it would also.
Zach, do you have younger sibling?
No, I have a brother, but he's older.
I know you would.
Oh, all you guys are youngest one? Derek, do you have siblings?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Younger?
So, I'm the youngest of 4.
Oh, all you guys are youngest.
Hey, what did you write for those bounds when you're taking the integral? Is that 1 to
0 to 1.
Did you say? What, my brother on his birthday or something?
Yo, I got.
It's not 0. Area cannot be 0.
The area is not zero.
Are you trying to have another watch party in 2020?
Well, if we were doing.
POV, you're at the dentist.
Yeah, but it's area.
What, 2 years?
Wait, actually, so true. They do be doing it like that. Like, my mom does that.
What are you playing in the back? Minecraft? Tetris?
You know, I'm pretty sure there's math in Minecraft and shit. Somewhere.
There's a math. There's a cool math game that's going to Roblox now.
Cool about the game is going to Roblox now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad.
But my son's addicted to Roblox, so I don't allow him to play. I actually deactivate his account.
Yeah, Roblox is not
Addictive.
It is addictive.
It is addictive.
It's addictive in like the bad. Like there's not even anything substantial to Roblox.
Maybe we can do that, but it's okay.
So I deactivate. I went to the account. He set up his own parent email, and I go in that parent email and I deactivate everything.
Honestly, Minecraft is like better.
For sure.
Yeah, I allowed him to play Minecraft.
Minecraft is for sure.
Like, cause like you can like get really into the technical stuff in Minecraft, and it's super interesting. Like how all the mechanics and mobs and stuff interact. You can build pretty complicated.
Oh!
Not even just like putting blocks together, but I just like designing farms in Minecraft. That's all I do.
I don't know anything about Redstone.
No, not even redstone-based farms. Like
I've never even gotten diamond.
I have a cousin did a Minecraft project on anatomy, so he built a human anatomy of the inside, yeah, he did it with his project, and it was like he can go inside the heart, he can go see the ventricles, he can see.
Each nerve.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. He actually did a very good job on that
I
project.
thought people make Minecraft. I think somebody made like a function.
Oh, because it's the same.
There's some sort of computer. made
Oh,
like too much for Minecraft, so they had to have full piece time. No, they made Minecraft in Minecraft.
Yes, someone made Minecraft in Minecraft using only redstone, no command blocks. So theoretically, it's buildable and survivable.
Yeah. Because the thing is, redstone, like functionally, you can use it to like code binary things, because it's just something that's either on and off, and it has like yeah, and it has like light displays and.
Okay, did you guys get his answer for this? The answer is 1/2.
You can build
1/2.
I thought we're looking for the range. The balance.
So if you graph it correctly, then you're gonna see two regions between the curve. Now you can in terms of x and y now. So there are two regions. So there are this region, and there is this region here. So technically, that you're gonna get this area and this area. Now they do not cancel. They do not get 0. That's always a misconception. Is they added, but they added differently because the top minus bottom is different. So from 0 to 1, the top is x minus x cubed. From -1 to 0 is x cubed minus x dx. So it's gonna have two parts of this. Now, if you were smart, which is a lot of you guys are, and lazy, which is a lot of you guys are, you'll realize that this is symmetrical graph. Then you can do 2 to the 0 to 1 of x minus x cubed dx. So that was much easier. There we go. That's much easier. So the x minus x cubed dx, and then you will get, eventually you're gonna get 1/4 or 1/2. Sorry, 1/4 times 2. So that's equal to 1/2.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, what did you write? Equals 1/4 times 2?
Yeah. So I don't want to do the simple math. So now everything can be in terms of y though. In terms of y, it's going to be right minus left. So you have to be able to do y minus left, right minus left, and it's going to be in terms of y. So sometimes you require to do that because everything is in terms of y. The boundary is going to be in terms of y as well. The boundary is going to be in terms of y as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Disk and washer.
Yeah. This needs a whole new paper, guys.
Xavier's gonna start crying. He's gonna be like.
This is very easy. This is somebody that Gage did this for me. So this looks like congruent type of situation. Now you can have this. If this is a function like this, you can actually rotate them. If you rotate them, it's gonna give you something like this. And you just imagine all the things to fill in. But it's very bad job for me. So it's basically something like this. It's gonna rotate. So the thing is, the disk is basic using the idea of disk. A disk is area of circle, which is equal to pi r squared. Now the only thing that apply to calculus is the integration. So it's going to be integration of r to the x squared dx times a to b, and there's a pi in the front, which is people usually forget. Don't forget the pi between a to b. And don't forget that you can be in terms of r of y.
Oh, r squared of x.
Yeah, r squared of x. It's because pi r squared. It's just pi r squared. So this is a disk method. And there's a washer method. Do you guys remember washer method?
It's like r of top and r of bottom. Yeah. And then is all that squared, or is each one squared?
So if you rotate, if you rotate this backwards, you see this region is actually a washer from here out. So it's actually outer minus inner. So Gage make this for me. So it's actually very useful for you to see. And yes, so it's gonna be from this on. From this before, it's gonna be a disk. From here on, it's gonna be a washer. So we're gonna talk about a question that has both a disk and washer in terms of y. So, and we're gonna talk about there's one more thing. It's called shell method. A shell method is super interesting because you can do this question in terms of shell, and it's only need to do one integral instead of two.
You didn't like it, so we're doing that.
I remember Ethan trying to teach that.
Yeah, but yeah. So now this year we're gonna teach it because, but not everything's on AP exam though. Disk and washer are the only one on AP exam. There's no shell on AP exam. But if you go to MIT, let's just say some of you guys will go to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Maria, gonna hang out with all the boys there. She's gonna have you buy me dinner for Monday, you buy me dinner for Tuesday.
Baseball players there are not as smart as
Kevin Parada, you know Kevin Parada, right?
They're not as smart as they look.
You know Kevin Parada.
one student who has high enough scores to actually make it indoor school. Normally, everyone is on the team.
Oh, they have like personal tutor and
AKA tutors.
Oh,
I'm the new.
yeah, they do all the things. But pretty much football players like that.
I mean, really, actually.
If you go to
It actually, hopefully.
it doesn't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
For that couple actually.
It's not very like a lot of athletic are very good at academic. But they were one. I think this football player went to FSU actually got like a Rhodes Scholar or something like that, which is they only give you like 1 out of like 100,000 people, and he got accepted to Cambridge as a brain surgeon. So he played for NFL for one year, and he went back to the school to study doctor.
The Chiefs offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And he went to like help out Kobe and everything because he was like.
Oh really?
Yeah, he quit.
No,
100,000 something.
Yeah, he wanted to be a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
And you know, like playing football is not the best way.
Yeah. I mean, he was really good too.
He was really good. He was drafted a second round.
Yeah.
Okay, so washer method it's gonna be r squared of x minus r squared of x dx, and it's gonna be this is the outer square and there's the inner square between a to b, or pi between a to b of r squared of y minus r of y squared dy. So the problem is people usually make mistake is misunderstanding, and you don't want to write this thing down. There's a fundamental difference. It's not r of x minus r of x squared
So you don't want
dx. They are wrong. This is wrong. This is a bad. This is a bad misunderstanding. So please don't do it that way. Why that is though? You think about it, just simple things. If you have a big circle and a small circle, and you want to find the area in between, it's not big R minus small r squared, because you're gonna get a mixture of like maybe the area of something like this, like area of this. No, it's just gonna be a circle because it's gonna big R minus small r. Just take the difference. So it's not. So this one is supposed to be big R squared minus small r squared and times pi, and that is a correct orientation. It's not big R minus r parentheses square.
It's a 3D shape minus a different 3D shape, rather than a 2D shape minus a 2D shape that have been turned 3D.
Exactly. Okay, whatever you say. I have no idea what you say.
No, it makes sense.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry, Andrew.
and we'll have a tally of 1.
Andrew versus yeah.
Is this, would you still say this is like outer minus inner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just make sure, don't make sure that it's an r minus r squared. Then that's r minus r parentheses squared. That's bad. So this is the washer method. And one more thing that you're gonna do is cross section.
I think this is
Now cross sections are actually fairly easy. Just have to memorize certain things. But remember this.
Oh.
That was like the cutest one.
It's not really, it's not what in my heart it is.
Root 3 over 4. Yeah.
What is that?
That would be equilateral triangles.
Right, equilateral triangle. It's a semicircle, so this is shapes that you're gonna see.
Is, a pi over 8.
What are you guys talking about?
Pyrate.
Yep. And square is regular square.
And I'm gonna write down everything for you.
I told you, I'm literally not gonna-
Okay, so
It's like a snail.
this is a semicircle. This looks like a snail, but this one does not look like a snail. But you see the bottom is the base. The bottom we're gonna call it D. The textbooks don't use a D, but I use D of x, which is the difference of top minus bottom. Does that make sense? So what I'm gonna do is, if it's a square, and the D of x is usually top minus the bottom. And the square is gonna be, there's no pi in the front, but just D of x squared dx, and that's a square. Okay? Now I can ask you out of the shapes. If it's equilateral triangle, it's square root 3 over 4 d of square of x dx, just the coefficient difference. Semicircle is gonna be pi over 8 in the front. And by the way, do you guys know why it's pi over 8?
Because it was
Because if you take the two graph, let's just say if you have taken this two graph, right? This difference is actually the diameter as opposed to radius. So the diameter is gonna be d over, the radius is gonna be d over 2. So it'll be d over 2 square. So it's gonna be d squared over 4. But it's gonna be semicircle because when you draw the things, it's gonna be a semicircle. So this is gonna be, here it's gonna be d over 2 and be d over 2 squared times 1/2. So therefore it's d over 2 squared times 1/2. So therefore it's 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. So it'd be pi over 8 in the front, and that's the reason.
Oh, the diameter is squared because it's d squared x.
Yeah.
D over 2.
D over 2 squared and times half, because semicircle, each slice is going to be a semicircle. So it'd be 1/2 pi r squared.
Yeah.
But r is d over 2.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please don't write pen on my notes.
Oh,
Stop. Why did you do that?
David, so David, come down. It's okay. All right, so semicircle. Shh. There's some R shapes. I'm gonna tell you some R shape. Sometimes they might ask you this by isosceles right. But if you think about isosceles right triangle, it's a half of a square. It's a half a square, so it'll be d squared of x. The isosceles right, but that's only if base equal to the base equal to d of x.
What do you mean, D of
Base is the difference of x. So this one is gonna be like, let's for example like this, like this. So the base is the leg. So it's 1/2 of a square. So therefore is 1/2 in the front. Is everybody following me so far?
Wait, is that supposed to be a big D of X?
Yeah. No, what I just called it. Small d is fine.
It's just D of X.
Small D. It's not the size of the D that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment. Base is equal to hypotenuse. Now this one's kind of hard because base is hypotenuse. That means if you have like something like this, that means this becomes the hypotenuse, and this becomes like this. So that becomes a little bit hard. That's gonna be 1/4 of d squared over x dx. Usually never test it. Never test it.
Good.
The last one is gonna be the rectangle. Rectangle depends on the question. Usually they say base equal to 2 times the height. You gotta be careful with this one. It's gonna be d of x is the base. The height is half of, so height, because base equal to 2 times height. So base is twice wider than height. So the height is must be half of the base. So sometimes they can word it this way. So it actually end up to be like 1/2 d of x dx between a and to b. So those are out of all the cross sections.
Base equal to 2 times.
What's? I think so.
Wait, so it's not squared anymore?
At least
It is square, sorry. Yeah, 1/2 of d of x squared. Now, usually they will ask this on multiple choice now because BC, they're not going to ask you area and volume, but they will ask you in terms of multiple choice, in terms of cross sections. But what happened in BC, they will ask you polar, which is, we're going to deal with polar later, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about shell method.
Like Derek Shell's baseball.
So we're going to talk about one question that require both disk and washer. So we're not going to talk about shell method yet. We're going to talk about disk plus washer.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry. I wrote down shell method for some reason.
Yeah, we're talking about shell, but right now we're going to talk about same question, but using disk and shell. So I have this graph, y equal to x squared plus 1. I have x equal to 1. I have y equal to 0. And x equal to 0. So I have this graph. It's rotating around y-axis.
This is shell method?
This is actually disk plus washer.
Not shell method.
What's washer?
That's 2 things.
That's when you do 2 things, 2 steps instead of 1 step. Which is
Okay,
what
so-
shell method is better.
X squared plus 1 is going to be right here. And the graph is going to be like something like this.
Y-axis.
So it's rotating around this. Now this one has to be done with disk plus washer. Think about why though.
Oh, because there's a you see how there's like a space. Yeah.
Yeah, so look at this, right? So basically I have this, but it's rotating this way. Sorry, that was a really shitty job.
You're doing great.
It's gonna be like this way. So the problem is from here to here, I'm gonna do a disk. Here it has a wait, hold on a second. This shape is wrong.
About to say, so yeah.
How do I do this shape?
It looks right.
You gotta do it the other way.
How do I do the other way?
You close it.
Can
and
you
then
help me?
Open it the other way.
Then if it's over there.
They did like spatial.
Yeah, he does. I don't know.
Understand.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
There you
Oh, it's like a
go.
bullet.
I'm a dumbass.
Oh,
No, like the thing.
Andrew going 2 and Mr. Yeah, right. 1. So it's gonna phone like this. It's not. It's like maybe a more for a bullet. So
Or a bullet shell.
Oh.
Is that what it's called then? Or a bowl.
when I never shoot a gun before, so I don't know what it look like. I don't know what a shell look like. Have you guys ever shoot a gun before?
I have.
Yeah.
I shooted a gun when I was like 7.
I've done it like I did it like 2 years ago.
It's a
I
fun to
haven't-
shoot.
I haven't shot a gun since.
I would never take my kids. My kids are not.
Man, I don't know. I'm from Georgia. I only vaguely remember this. I think it was a real gun.
I did it 1 to 2 years ago at a shooting range.
Oh, that's cool.
We were just at some random place in the forest, and my grandpa was like, "Hey, there's a soda can. You want to shoot it with this gun?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Really? That's
Like,
a cool.
He
That's a,
didn't just let me like recklessly hold the gun. Like he was right there the whole time, and he was probably holding the gun with me. But
but that's so cool though.
yeah,
Your grandpa's probably pretty cool dad. Pretty cool grandpa. Okay, so this one had it done with 2 pieces. Why you had it done 2 pieces? Because you had to cut this in 2 pieces. We'll talk about more tomorrow.
Xavier, look at this. Oh. Are you drawing on the back? On that table?
I remember this in water. I remember this in water.
Actually, that is your favorite part.
That was the part I was good at.
That's the part I usually like understands it.
Yeah. This in water. I forgot to do it, but I realized that's pretty cool.
I have a horse concert tonight.
After school, that's a lot of work.
First, I had questions.
I know how to do everything.
I get a little edgy, but
We can go over it after we eat.
or I can just hang out.
With that said, okay.
I get to be like, hey, yo,
Yeah.
I've been busy recently.
And those AP exam questions.
Bye, Mr. A, have a good day.
Do the test man.
Yo, why is this Sam Walker?
This is 7, 8, and 9.
I don't even know why I thought of Walker. Like Skywalker?
There's the AP question, the FRQ.
No.
You didn't do that part yet.
I'm curious. What is your last name?
Oh wait, what? Whoa, that's
Yeah, the last question.
I got that right.
You got it right?
Is my wallet anymore? What's my like a black
No.
Damn it. Alright, thanks.
What's up, please?
Did you grade the retake?
You want to grade it together?
Yeah.
Alright, fine. I need the answer sheet anyway, so hopefully I can use yours answer sheet, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry you dropped the phone.
No, I feel like I did really well.
I believe you did. You put in the work.
You have no idea. The day before the test, well, obviously, like, I think that's another reason why I didn't do as well. But the day before the test, like, I was on FaceTime with Tanisha, Daniel.
Wow.
Well, I'm saying back, so.
She's being a bigger person. Okay?
Yeah. And then I was like on a FaceTime call for like, we were on it from 8 to like 11. It was 3 hours. And we were just going over the review. And honestly, if I didn't do that, I think I would have gotten a worse score than I did. But it was actually pretty helpful.
Uh-oh. I think I left at home. Sorry. I'm sorry,
It's okay.
but I'm pretty sure you did okay.
Yeah, I think I did pretty.
Did you see my black textbook?
Mm-mm.
It's in the textbook.
What does it look like?
It's in the black textbook.
The black textbook?
So you must be excited. You accepted UF.
Yeah, really cool.
You had a big party?
No.
Your parents didn't do a party?
It was just like my parents and my grandparents and my brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot. Is your dad's Korean or you?
Yeah, he's
no?
Korean.
Oh, okay. Korean are really good at soccer,
Yeah.
right? They make it
Yeah.
to like World Cup.
My dad's like, I don't know, he always watches like Korean series. I don't know. He's having trouble finding like, I had this place called literally just the Asian market, and they had like everything that you could have. And he's having trouble finding one here in Orlando.
Lotto Market.
What's it called?
Lotto Market?
Okay, where is it offer?
You don't know Lotto Market?
No.
Oh my God. You
Where is
missed-
it?
Okay, look it up. LOTT Market. Korean stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, he just
You want to look at all the Korean stuff?
no.
Like Korean markets?
No, he just like gochujang. That's
Oh,
The
the
red-
kimchi?
yeah. No, it's like a red chili paste.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. do.
that, like just seaweed.
Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna drive to. Okay, drive to Kirkman, right?
Mhm.
Make a right, go to a Colonial. Or make a left, go to Colonial. And go all the way to Jiangyang. It's on the left hand side. It's a Lotto Market, very, very, very big place. It has a lot of Korean food inside. It has cafeteria. I can't believe you don't know.
TTE.
Yeah, Lotto Market. Do you see it?
Yeah.
How-
Yeah, I had no idea.
How can you not know? That's like one of the biggest Korean place.
I have it. And they probably didn't have it where I used to
Oh, in Gainesville don't have it.
live. Yeah, Gainesville they would. They just
So you can buy it and give it to him.
yeah. All they had was.
So he still live in Gainesville, right?
This year.
How can you not know?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
You're Korean at least?
My dad is.
So she is half Korean.
Yeah.
You're half Korean and half white?
Mhm.
Irish?
Mhm. Yeah.
Irish, wow.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
That's kind of weird.
The-
My mom is like blonde hair, blue eyes.
do you have blue eyes?
Yeah, but my dad, like a lot of people think he's like Filipino because he's so tan.
Because he's soccer coaching.
Yeah, he's always outside. But it's like weird.
Oh, where does he coach soccer?
Veda's mad at me because I roast her out period. No, it's just like all the things I want to say to you, you just never listen.
Yeah, he did go like camera, yeah, camera. I understand this, yeah, but like, how did you feel afterwards? I was not happy. I was not happy.
No.
Katie's laughing.
I was not happy. I wouldn't know what to do. I would just like be sitting with the staring off.
She's a big girl. She can handle it. Katie's laughing so hard.
Yeah, because like it got literally annoying. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah. Oh, the whole class.
Yeah, because all the time you don't listen.
You already told me that.
Yeah, but you're still not listening.
What?
I'm giving a shit. Asking, what do you think constant?
Okay, but then I saw it, and then that was done, and then like that was it, and then you brought it up again. Like, what's the reason for it up again? I fixed it.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
You should go back and get a note.
You want to see my notes?
Why is your password so long?
She's afraid people hacking the computer scam her. Even though she's Indian.
I'm mad at you. Stop making jokes.
It's not like you never mess with me. I think I found my text.
What does that mean? You found the test?
Yeah.
That's what you were looking for?
Yeah, the textbook.
Oh,
It's on the floor.
I thought you were looking for like a
It's
glass
inside.
binder.
It's
What's
inside
that?
the textbook.
Reaching. Oh,
Oh,
July. You grading them now?
Oh yeah. Have you graded Masons yet?
Gee,
Really? What is 6 times 15? What is 6 times 15? Go.
it's 90. What did I write?
Wait a minute.
80. Okay, well, it's 90, okay? What do you
It's
want
not
from me?
okay.
That happened to me when I first
It's not okay.
It was like 100 plus 40, or 50 plus 40, and I put 100 instead of 90.
Breathe. In
Oh,
your
I
soul.
can't be able to maintain. It was like 16 stuff. Practice was really good.
What is not really?
Your food.
You want some?
No, it's okay.
Have some.
I gotta go home after the retake.
Okay, at least looks okay.
You grade Masons.
Huh?
Can you grade Masons?
You can grade it. I don't want to grade anything.
Oh, okay.
Especially, I got frustrated as people still failing the retake. I didn't say you yet.
I hope I didn't know it. We both wrote this. What are you doing? I'm just reading. We both wrote at the top of our test.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I have to make
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good. I really hope I can do it. I have to get like an 80. I can't do it. 49.
Oh, wait. When you do it like
My back sleep last night. My back hurts and my body was shaking.
you do it separate. You have to do this little square rotated as like a disc, and you have to do this little thingy rotated
And that's
as like a washer.
Wait, is homework tonight the same as yesterday?
Oh, this is a disc,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a washer.
Oh,
okay. And then we
I
can
would
plus one. You just add.
But I took his advice.
Once you see.
Because I went through all his videos and
Whatever
Like, wait,
you
if you start from, if you only do this area, you have to subtract one?
I didn't have any teachers that get through it.
Well, how do you get rid of this?
When
start to
I
get rid of
watched
one.
the
So do you?
shadow and the cone.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched that.
It'd be like the whole
Yeah.
thing
And then
minus this.
you watched I could fear the angle.
And then for this thing, it'll be like.
I had it in my notes, Thompson. I had it in my notes, Thompson. I just didn't.
Bring the damn notes.
I was trying to critically think instead of going back and looking for the answer this year. I'm test that one out of my notes. I want people to look back and be like, oh, wait, yes says constant, right? Anything you should be.
Hold back.
Man.
Okay, I still don't have one.
Hold back.
It looks so good. Anyway.
Jay, you're giving out.
What is it like? Garlic?
Can I have the sauce?
Oh, no sauce.
Sauce is mine.
Today is my parents' wedding anniversary.
What's that got to do with it?
You see, I don't know why we thought of that. I
Is it
don't
warm?
No,
know.
but it's okay.
So like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Can you split one with me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So we can save the rest. for you.
Yeah. Is that okay?
I love
with you?
you, Mr.
Do you love us? Here we go.
He's just hard on you because you're his favorite. I'm not his favorite. He's just needs me. Look at him.
I'm hard on you
Why? I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
because you had to get better.
I'm gonna try not to get across it.
Here's one. Thank you.
No, it's okay. I'm not. Okay. Break this. I'm sorry.
Oh Jesus!
Give me a little.
How's senior year for you?
It's going good.
Don't it?
Oh, you're a senior? Oh,
She got
yeah.
such a US play soccer over there.
Wait, you got accepted? Already?
Nobody knows. She's not like a bragger.
It's like a soccer thing.
She's really good. Totally.
Oh,
Almost look in basketball.
sorry, I just want to say that.
You know she's Korean.
Oh, really?
You don't know about you.
He's
No, my dad tried teaching me, but
Well, I'll play Korean.
Korean.
I can show you pictures of my dad.
You're gonna show me a picture of that.
She doesn't know what Lotto Market is. Tell her what's Lotto Market.
Okay, again.
Lotto Market.
Pronounce it again.
Oh,
Lotto market.
what are you supposed to pronounce?
It's like low day.
There's a picture of my dad.
Whoa.
See how tan he is?
Yeah.
That's not mine.
Wait. Maybe I'll know him.
I know him.
Oh yeah, he looks. I'm gonna wake up.
Season
You
2.
don't Filipino. But he's in the stuff all the time. So
In California, 8 o'clock. But I forget.
you could the video, but you forgot.
What time you go down?
1,
How are you lying?
2. If I drop this flash,
You're not gonna drop the class. I'll kick you out.
You see, really serious that you did it. That's
Like I will literally kick your ass. Like that's not even kidding. I'll physically beat you.
Mr. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so. It's 1, 2, 1, 2.
And I'll take off the phone. And I'll get some sleep. Okay, obviously I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. No, I'm not taking stats. That's boring. What is it again? Physics.
I thought it was impossible.
Like,
Oh, you're a mechanic.
no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
I'm mad at her, but I'm not mad at her at the same time. Because I feel like
She knew what she can handle.
Who?
My sister, like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not-
upset at her is because she didn't talk to me about it.
That's what my mom said.
I was like, if you talk to me about it, it would be fine. But
That's-
don't talk to me about it.
She didn't talk to you?
No,
Oh, my mom told her that. Respect, she should go. Okay, well.
she did not talk to me. If she talked to me, that would have been fine.
She's quite
Did
scared.
not.
Oh, yeah.
You think she's gonna take
I
it next year
understand.
instead?
I don't think so. Oh, that's why. Because my mom told her to come talk to you and just tell her.
Well, just so you know, like I'm hard on everybody. That's Katie. I've been hard on her before too.
Oh yeah. So it's like there's a middle class. Shut up. At least it was 9.
Usually in the morning. I get better at
Katie can do nothing wrong. It's you just say hey shut up during the middle class, even though I know it was not Katie. Not me. It wasn't me.
Sometimes you act like a girl on her period, like in the morning. Like you're so like.
I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're like yelling, and then the next minute you're like, okay, let's do our math now. Like, really?
Cool.
I need to stop sitting right in front of your desk. It's giving you some ideas. He sits back.
You guys just crack me up.
Did she say it like that?
Can last night homework off could be today? Homework, please.
What?
That make it a lot easier. Because like it's still like practice. I just feel like it's.
So far, you both did pretty good.
Please, I hope so.
Thank you.
I'm gonna average out to an A this
Can I see this?
Stop care about grades, Jesus.
I don't have a grade, but like, I don't want to not like. You know, like I also care about my. Like I care about it. But also,
I'm not gonna
you know, like we do what you say. Like I'm caring more about the math, and I know that it'll be fine. But I also don't want to
Can
get.
you watch the video I sent you?
Yes. What video? The one that you sent in the group chat.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. The one about the angel.
Is this right?
The one with the angel. Or the man. You mean the man? The white guy who Or the movie trailer.
The movie trailer.
I saw some of it. I didn't finish the whole thing. And you can't tell me that you posted that on your YouTube channel because. Oh.
Oh my god, I can't even find it. Whatever.
Look at your paper kind of stretches.
C equals 0.
Don't look at
Yeah,
it.
that's
I'm being pretty shitty, aren't I? What? Did I get any wrong yet, at least?
Yeah. I don't remember how to do it.
I said it was 90 on 5 hours of sleep. I feel like.
Yeah.
What makes a Wawa Club? The crispy bacon on a turkey BLT, the endless layers of flavor of the buffalo chicken salad.
Han Ji-woo fails to fit in.
I want you to watch.
Is that you can play? Where? Stop it. Away.
I like that.
Close. Watch enough to take care. In the most prestigious high school in South Korea where the 1% gathers, Han Ji-woo fails to fit in. He used to be the smartest student in his old humble school, but he's surrounded by geniuses. He is one step from the bottom of the class, especially in math, which is considered the most important subject to get into college. His classmates are rich, so they can afford tutors and boot camps, but Ji-woo is on student welfare and can't afford such things. His math teacher, Mr. Kim Gun-ho, reminds him these grades won't be enough to get into a prestigious college and asks Ji-woo to consider transferring. One night, Ji-woo's roommates give him money so he can sneak out and get some snacks and alcohol. But on his way back, Ji-woo is caught by the night guard Lee Hak-sung. The following morning, Mr. Kim tries to get him to confess who else was part of his plan, but Ji-woo values loyalty and stays silent. This catches his classmate Park Bo-ram's attention, but also gets him temporarily kicked out of the dorms. After class, his roommates try to give him some money as thanks and are shocked to hear Ji-woo doesn't want it because they're friends. They discuss the possibility of bringing in late-night snacks through other routes, but this has been impossible since Hak-sung started to work as a guard. They call him the commie officer because he's a North Korean defector. Later, Hak-sung goes to see his doctor, who tells him working as a night guard isn't good for his health and relying on sleeping pills causes his biorhythm to be off. Hak-sung reminds him that it's the only job he can get as a defector, so unless the doctor can get him a position somewhere else, he'll take the pills. Afterward, Hak-sung returns to his lonely apartment, where he spends his time feeding his turtle, drinking strawberry milk, and doing Sudoku puzzles. The following day, Ji-woo is kicked out of the dorm. Bo-ram teases him on his way out, saying she thought he could be more than a loser, but it seems she was wrong. A couple of hours later, Ji-woo has returned to his family apartment, which he cleans before his mother comes back from work. She's a widow that has always worked very hard to raise him, so she's very proud of seeing her son in such an important uniform. Not having the heart to tell her he needs a place to sleep, Ji-woo says instead he only came to visit her and he must return to the school before it gets too late. It begins raining on his way back, so Ji-woo tries to hide in the school's abandoned lab, but he's found by Hak-sung. The guard feels bad when he hears Ji-woo doesn't have a place to stay, so he invites him back to his office. While Ji-woo sleeps, Hak-sung finds the very hard math homework that Ji-woo couldn't finish. As soon as the sun rises, Hak-sung kicks Ji-woo out. The boy goes to his math class and is shocked to find his homework has been done by Hak-sung. Not only that, all the answers are correct. Bo-ram notices this and wants Ji-woo to show the teacher, but he asks her to keep quiet. After class, Ji-woo goes to thank Hak-sung for the help and asks him to teach him how to do it, but Hak-sung just kicks him out again. Later, in the studying room, Ji-woo hears even his classmates' private tutors have trouble with some of these math problems, which indicates how special Hak-sung is. Ji-woo starts following him around, begging to be tutored, but Hak-sung won't pay attention to him. One afternoon, while he's taking out the trash, Hak-sung overhears the teachers talking about welfare students with uncaring parents and inferior complexes, and Mr. Kim includes Ji-woo on the list. When Ji-woo approaches him to ask for tutoring again, Hak-sung tells him it's better to transfer and that self-pity isn't a badge to carry because it gets you fixated on tragedy. Ji-woo explains how angry it makes him that others can have opportunities he can't, so Hak-sung gives in and accepts the tutoring. He only asks for Ji-woo to pay him with strawberry milk. The next day, Hak-sung visits his friend in Gi-chol, who helped him come to South Korea because he works as Seoul's North Korean defector support lead. Together they play board games and chat about life. And when Gi-chol gets Hak-sung the lamps he needed as a gift, Hak-sung insists on paying for them because he didn't come to this country for charity. When night falls, Hak-sung puts the lamps inside the abandoned lab so he can teach Ji-woo there in secret. There are 3 rules Ji-woo must follow. 1. Nobody must know about these classes. 2. No questions other than math. And 3. Hak-sung will teach math, but he doesn't want to hear anything about grades or tests. After Ji-woo promises to follow all the rules, Hak-sung gives him the first exercise, finding the area of a triangle. Jiwoo solves it quickly, pointing out this is a middle school problem. But Ha-sung tells him he's wrong and going in a full circle around the triangle. Feeling tricked, Jiwoo thinks it's unfair because Ha-sung has given him the wrong question. But Ha-sung's point is that he's approaching problem solving the wrong way. Yes, finding the answer is important, but understanding what the question is, that's what is even more important. Math is all about the process of finding a solution. When Jiwoo shows
Make every drive competent. Available all-wheel drive and the number one ranking in dependability from J.D. Power. 340 $379 a month.
Did you take one point off this, or did you just give it to me? And how did it wait.
Take 5 and some timing. And do both.
Did you give this to me? I have
Or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and played it.
Jiwoo shows an understanding of the concept. Ha-sung calls it epsilon as he has a black background. Younger he and apprentice to the dancing camp surprised for academic success. Epsilon means small and insignificant. Trivially, after the class is over, since Jiwoo still doesn't have a place to go, Ha-sung allows him to stay with him. Jiwoo discovers that Ha-sung loves listening to classical music on an old cassette player, so they chat about classical composers for a while, which helps Ha-sung avoid Jiwoo's questions about his past. The cassette is worn out and has a bad sound quality, so Jiwoo plays the songs on his phone, the quality of which fascinates Ha-sung and helps him sleep deeply for the first time in ages. In fact, he stays in bed until late the next morning, and when he wakes up, Jiwoo has already left for class. Mr. Kim has some important news for his math students. Instead of having finals, his class will participate in the prestigious Pythagoras math competition, which will count as their exam. The teens aren't happy about this since they only have 2 months to practice, but Mr. Kim expects them all to win gold. Jiwoo goes to see Ha-sung every day for math class, and Boron begins noticing how often Jiwoo purchases strawberry milk, almost as if he was an addict. One evening, there's a particularly hard exercise that Jiwoo needs to know the technique to solve, but Ha-sung explains he expects him to add it all up manually. 3 hours later, Jiwoo manages to solve it, so Ha-sung shows him something special. Famous mathematician Bernhard Riemann calculated 38 decimals of the square root of 2 by hand to become intimate with the solving process, which you can't do by just memorizing the formula. This is greatly helpful when it comes to a better understanding of math. Ha-sung refuses to tell Jiwoo if his answer is right or wrong because his homework will be to discover it himself. That's the job of a mathematician. As the weeks pass, Jiwoo improves his math skills more and more every day. One afternoon, he receives some devastating news. A close friend and fellow welfare student is transferring back to his old school, admitting having come here.
The residences of Margaritaville Resort are now looking like chilling condos in Orlando. Now, I'm just guessing. Your home doesn't feel like a vacation getaway, but your new condo totally could. We're doing food, bars, restaurants, and so much more right outside of your condo. Work, eat, play, and enjoy living Fins Up every day. Visit us online to find out more.
Oh, I didn't take out a lot of points. I'm not sure. Very hard.
Hi guys. What? I think you should do the board first.
Take 5 and some timing. And do both.
It's going to be pre-order Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and play the campaign now.
Here was never worth it. Now Jiwoo has some thinking to do about his own situation, and Boron tries to hear him out, but he feels like she's making fun of him by staying there in the same situation when she's actually a rich kid too. Their conversation is interrupted when Boron's mother comes to pick her up. When they get in the car, Boron is scolded for hanging out with a welfare kid. Boron is technically on welfare too because of her divorced parents, but she isn't on financial aid, so it isn't really the same. Her mother also scolds her for listening to piano music because she wants Boron to concentrate on her studies. So she's hired Mr. Kim to be Boron's private tutor, which is illegal. Later that night, Jiwoo tells Ha-sung about his friend and wonders if he should transfer too. Ha-sung encourages him not to give up and reminds him the most important thing to succeed isn't intelligence, but courage to prevail until the end. To prove his point, he shows Jiwoo the exercises he corrected. While there are some mistakes in the final solutions, the boy has correctly learned the process to solve them. That same night, Jiwoo's suspension ends, so he gets to go back to the dorms, but he admits missing sharing a space with Ha-sung. The next day, Boron gives him strawberry milk with an apology note, and when he gets distracted, she follows him to the abandoned lab and discovers his secret. After thanking Ha-sung for taking care of Jiwoo, she asks if she can come over from time to time, and Ha-sung accepts as long as she keeps it a secret too. Boram also calls him Kami officer and is confused as Hak Sung. He may be from North Korea, but he never served in the military. For a reason he doesn't bother to explain, he was exempted. At that moment, they notice a group of students sneaking around the campus, but having learned what happened to Jiwoo last time, Hak Sung decides to do nothing about it. Another evening, Jiwoo asks Hak Sung why he studied math so hard. He explains that at first, he did it for the scholarship and the sake of his family, but the more he learned about it, the more beautiful he found it. So he fell in love with her. Then, they call Boram to join Hak Sung in the piano so he can teach her a cool little trick, assigning a note to each digit. The two of them make a beautiful melody by playing the number pi. During the next math class, Jiwoo corrects Mr. Kim's answer to an exercise using the logic Hak Sung taught him about incorrect questions. However, Mr. Kim scolds him for it. The answer may be correct, but it's not what the examiner intended, and that's the only thing the students need to worry about. Giving the solution that is expected, not the one that is right. It's all about test technique, but Jiwoo doesn't accept it and replies he'll still get the right answer on the test. Considering him rude for such attitude, Mr. Kim makes him stand outside the door for the rest of the class. Afterward, Jiwoo informs Mr. Kim that he won't be transferring. In the afternoon, during another of Hak Sung's visits, Kim Chol gives him a smartphone so he's easier to find. Hak Sung happily shows it to Jiwoo later, and the boy can't help noticing he's reading long theses on his tiny screen. To help, Jiwoo asks a classmate to sneak him into the computer lab so he can print the entire document and gift it to Hak Sung. The next day is the Pythagoras test. Jiwoo is doing wonderful thanks to Hak Sung's lesson. And while Boram starts well enough by remembering the music, she soon gets frustrated. Pressure takes a toll on her, and she ends up leaving the classroom without finishing the exam. Her mother makes her stay home to avoid shame and lies to the school, saying that they'll go away on a trip. When Jiwoo tries to contact her, all his texts are ignored. In the evening, Jiwoo and Hak Sung go to a classical concert that Boram got them free tickets for because her family's company sponsors it. Boram never shows up, but at least Hak Sung enjoys it so much that he's moved to tears. Afterward, Hak Sung invites Jiwoo to a dinner at his place, which makes Jiwoo realize this is the first time he sees Hak Sung. That same night, someone leaks the Pythagoras test on the internet, causing trouble for the teachers, who now must find the student that did it if they don't want the education board to fire them. Meanwhile, Jiwoo and Hak Sung go to a bookstore to do some shopping, and a stranger recognizes Hak Sung. This man also comes from North Korea and calls Hak Sung doctor, remembering him from the days Hak Sung taught classes at the university he attended. The man also calls Hak Sung the famous mathematical genius and thinks Jiwoo is his son, which puts them in an awkward situation. Hak Sung thanks the man for the memory and rushes to leave the store, refusing to answer Jiwoo's questions. When he gets home, Hak Sung remembers the good times he used to have with his son Lee Taeyeon, like having dinner together, getting the turtle, and buying strawberry milk because it was Taeyeon's favorite. The next day, some important news appears on TV. The Riemann hypothesis, one of the most important mathematical problems, is about to be solved by a famous North Korean called Lee Hak Sung. So far, it's still ongoing review by the Board of Scholars. Professor O on TV tells the story of how he entered a math Olympiad when he was a kid and met Hak Sung, who represented the North while O represented the South. They both were given a fancy pen by a famous mathematician, and O still has it to this day. Both Kim Chol and Jiwoo see the news, and it's Jiwoo that finds Hak Sung first. However, Hak Sung gets angry and asks him to never mention the Riemann hypothesis again. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim is having trouble with the test incident because his reputation is on the line. But when a coworker reviews the security tapes after the student passed on some rumors, he finds his salvation. The following day, Mr. Kim calls Jiwoo to show him the recording of sneaking out of the computer.
Ready to put that house in the house party? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Club Equity. There are no lines, no cover charge. The party can happen right from your couch. Expect you to pay off debts, fund home improvement projects, or take out gas bills, well, whatever you need. And all you gotta do to join the club is confirm a few details on Credit Karma. Ooh, make it rain if you want, and get ready to fight the equity, raise the roof. Start tracking your own equity today.
Peter laughed with some printed sheets in his hands. Jiwoo tries to explain that it's unrelated, but he has no way to prove it. Between the tape evidence and the fact he magically became better at math in a few months, nobody will believe it. So Mr. Kim offers him a deal. If he accepts the transfer, he won't make his blame public. Sadly, the rumors of Jiwoo having young vision still reach everyone's ears, and Boram gets upset about it because she knows the truth. Kim Chol is having some trouble of his own too. North Korea is angry that the South is taking Hak Sung's achievements, especially since these discoveries are tied to military encryption. So the niche wants Kim Chol to convince Hak Sung to appear on TV with her. Hak Sung's name is all over the news now, and North Korea visits him to convince him to return to the North together. However, he puts his foot in his mouth when he admits he's asking because bringing Hak Sung would earn him forgiveness too, and only manages to anger him by bringing up what happened to his son. Yi Chul visits Hak Sung to apologize for not being able to keep the niche off his back, but Hak Sung is still thankful for all the years of protection. While Hak Sung's packing to leave town, Yi Chul returns to him. With Hak Sung tried to throw away years ago, and Yi Chul saved it because it was too valuable to be trashed. At that moment, Ji Woo arrives as well, but he decides to stay outside. Hak Sung is angry because it was this research that cost him his son's life, so he refuses to put it on TV. After Yi Chul leaves, Ji Woo tries to talk to Hak Sung, but the old man only lashes out at him, refusing to accept they are anything closer than tutor and student. Afterward, Ji Woo gets a call from an upset Boron, who doesn't understand why he's letting them frame him like this, but he just tells her it's over and hangs up. In the meantime, Hak Sung arrives at the bus station, and when he thinks he saw his son's face on a random stranger, he begins to remember the night Taeyeon died. After he got into another fight for defending fellow defectors, Taeyeon began arguing with his dad, accusing him of having escaped to the south for selfish reasons because he didn't do it when his mom was sick with tuberculosis. Hak Sung insisted he did it to give his son a better life, but Taeyeon pointed out that doing entry jobs and being treated like dirt was far from a better life for a scholar. After wishing his dad to enjoy his life with only math as a company, Taeyeon ran away and tried to go back to the north by swimming, but he was shot on sight by border patrol. Back to Ji Woo, he sneaks into his home to use her mother's stamp on the transfer papers while she's sleeping. The next morning, he hands the papers to Mr. Kim, who tells him he did the right thing. Hak Sung is hiding in a hotel while Yi Chul searches for him to take him to the TV show, and he is surprised to get a call from Boron telling him his transfer. That afternoon is the Pythagoras Award ceremony. Ji Woo is on his way out of the school, but Boron suddenly arrives and drags him with her to the auditorium by stealing his stuff. Professor O opens the ceremony with a speech about the recently proven theory, and that's the moment Hak Sung decides to interrupt, having rushed over to the school after freeing his turtle on the river. He presents his pen as proof of his identity, so Professor O receives him with open arms and allows him to give a speech too. After making a joke about his work as a guard, Hak Sung confesses he was the one that taught Ji Woo math and presents the printed thesis as proof that he didn't leak the test. He also reveals that it was Mr. Kim that leaked the test to his private students, which causes Mr. Kim to leave with anger and shame. Then, Hak Sung shares a bit of his story. He defected North Korea so he could study math properly, because his own government was using his research to build weapons. He wants his math to be used to find jobs and get into good colleges, but such greed cost him his son's life. Hak Sung is ashamed of his choices, yet Ji Woo never saw him that way and stayed loyal to his secret until the end, even if it cost him his future. Pride, Hak Sung apologizes and thanks Ji Woo for believing him, and such speech makes Yi Chul, who has been listening all along, leave without even asking about the TV interview. He does, however, wait for Hak Sung outside and offer him a ride. After throwing away the smartphone and being addicted, Yi Chul reveals a little surprise for Hak Sung, a new legal passport that marks Hak Sung as a South Korean citizen, and tickets for him to leave town so the niche can't find him for a while. Yi Chul will probably get fired for it, but he thinks it's worth it. Sometime later, Yi Chul visits Ji Woo to give him the gift Hak Sung left for him, the famous pen and the first draft of his thesis. 3 years later, Ji Woo and his college class visit the prestigious Hugo Wolfgang Research Institute for Mathematics. Hak Sung is working there now, and Ji Woo surprises him with some strawberry milk and a puppy before diving into a long talk about math. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos. Thanks for watching.
You should move to Oklahoma so you can be
We have to come and move it, and then you have to do what you want. We don't choose. We don't choose about
Welcome back to Movie Reviews. Today I will show you a drama, mystery, fantasy film from 2019 titled Superman. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Sang-Yu is a lonely, poor scriptwriter with no job, no friends, and dead parents. His main problem, however, is that he hasn't been able to sleep in over a year because every time he does, a demon appears in his dreams and transforms them into violent nightmares. Tonight, Sang-Yu is dreaming about being in the subway when the demon arrives, grabs him by the hair, and after making a hole on the floor, puts his head through it, killing him. He wakes up right after his dream self dies and intends to do some writing, but his landlord knocks at his door claiming he's brought him some food.
Sorry.